Well, hi there, all you hockey fans. No doubt you're still hungry for hockey. I'm Ashley Morrison, and I'm looking forward to catching up today with Hockeyroos star Jodie Kenny. Jodie, good to see you the other side of the country.
Yeah, it's nice to see you too, Ash.
Well, obviously, since having your son Harrison, you've been training on that side of the country and coming over just before major tournaments. Were you in Queensland when it was decided that all the players could head back home, or were you actually in Perth?
No, I was actually in Perth. So I was supposed to be in Perth for nearly 2 weeks. And kind of a week into it, I was kind of keeping an eye on the news and seeing that it was, the issue was escalating quite quickly. And, there was chat of borders shutting. I think at that point, Tasmania had shut. And so I kind of just gave good as a call and I said, hey, this is getting, pretty serious. I think I've got to head back because Harrison was home with my husband. So, yeah, I made the decision to head back home, and then I got a phone call the next morning saying the program was actually shut down. So it was a bit of a whirlwind couple of days, that's for sure.
So how has it changed? If you've been based at home, you've obviously had the discipline to do all the training that you've had to do, over there on your own. Has that changed, or are you doing a little bit less because presumably, obviously, the gyms aren't open?
Yeah, so I'm very fortunate. I set up a home gym right after having Harrison. So I'm fully equipped for the gym side of it. It's probably just the getting on the pitch, the access to hockey fields. So starved of that at the moment. Yeah, but that otherwise it's, running program, doing all those things that I was doing before, gym at home. So that side of it hasn't changed. It's just yeah, getting on the field.
So you're probably in a better situation than a lot of players then.
Yeah, I am. And I was talking to a few of them straight after it, and they were trying to get their hands on gym gear, and it was, very rare to try and find something, or it was an absurd amount of money. People were trying to sell off all this gym gear. So yeah, I'm very lucky that I have already got a really good setup in my shed just so there. So happy.
Now, obviously, one of the things that's a huge disappointment is the Olympics being postponed, and you were looking, if selected, of course, because for your third Olympic Games. How difficult is that now that that's been postponed when you were focusing on something 3 months away and now you're focusing on something that's over a year away again?
Yeah, look, I don't know if I've still fully digested it yet. I had so many plans in place right down to the T. Obviously, having Harrison, I had to make sure that all my trips to Perth, trips away had already been organised. And yeah, so my routine was all set, ready to go, with the eyes on Tokyo 2020. So yeah, it's definitely taken a few weeks to kind of wrap my head around it, and for it to now be a 15-month preparation is going to be very different. So there's going to be a lot of planning take place, that's for sure.
And which part is the hardest for you? Is it that planning your family? Is it the sort of mental aspect, or is it the physical aspect? That obviously you were looking to peak in about 3 months' time, and now you've got to pull it back a little bit and reset.
Oh, I think it's physical and mental. I think they're both, physically like trying to stay motivated now that the goal's been stretched a long way. And just, building up again, because we were kind of, at this real stage where we were ramping up training and we were peaking. So yeah, that's motivation's taken a bit of a hit. And then for me, obviously, mental, trying to get my head around how I'm going to, organize it all. So for me, both things are taking a big part in decision making, that's for sure.
Now, one thing people might not be aware of is, and I wasn't aware of it till fairly recently, was before you were selected, for the London Olympic Games, you were actually considering giving up on this elite pathway and not going to make it, and going, oh, you know what, I've tried, it's not going to happen. I mean, how amazing was it to sort of suddenly change that path because you were at a point of almost quitting?
Yeah, I was actually really close to hanging up the boots then. I'd been in the development squad for kind of a couple of years, 3 or 4 years, and I just couldn't crack that next stage. Yeah, and I kind of went to my coach at the time, QAS Des King, and I said, I think I'm done. And he's like, no, like I've heard there's going to be, change of coach, a bit of change of scenery. So give it a crack. And I just, got stuck into increasing my fitness and threw everything at it. And then, yeah, before I know it, come on board, and I was given, call it the trifecta, I think an AIS scholarship, my first tournament to Argentina, and Australian Institute of Sport scholarship. So it was just amazing, yeah. But to be,
Really.
yeah, it was. And I look at my career now, and I thought, you crazy girl, like I nearly stopped. So very lucky I didn't.
Now, you weren't married then, but obviously your husband Shane has played a big part. He's a big house husband now, looking after Harrison when you're playing. I mean, how important is it having a husband who's played the game, understands hockey? Again, he's played at a high level representing Queensland, so he knows the pressures you're under.
Yeah, it's, I'm incredibly lucky to have someone that's so involved in hockey. Can have its negatives as well when you talk too much of it at home, drives you crazy, or when he overanalyzes my games. But yeah, just having his support, and like you said, he knows exactly what I'm kind of going through and can really support me through all the steps of my career.
Is he super critical when he analyses your games?
Sometimes he can be, but then when he gives me some positive feedback, I'm like, you beauty, I must have had a cracker game.
No, I remember my father, when he gave me sort of criticism, it was like sometimes you just muttered under your breath and shoved it away. But you've had a really different experience of late, in that we know that you've been seen on television as a player. You've been interviewed many times on television, but now you've been starring in the Kellogg Sultana Bran advertisement. I mean, how was that whole experience?
Oh, it was amazing. I met with the Sultana Brand crew a couple of months ago and kind of had a chat about my story. And I was so excited when they said that they were going to choose me to be an ambassador for them. But to be in that ad, how incredible was it? I can't stop watching it. Harrison loves it. He had it on replay to the point where he can hear if the ad comes on, he comes screaming around the corner. And it was funny because he actually thinks it's him in the ad, given that he sees me kissing another little boy who's sleeping. Oh, it was hilarious. And Mum, I'm eating breakfast. I'm like, yeah, buddy. Yeah. So it was such an amazing, experience to be in the ad and to see the behind the scenes of it being made. It was incredible.
I mean, he wasn't in the ad, but obviously the child looks very like him. But was it just that he was too young?
Yeah, definitely. Like the little boy did an incredible job, but he was nearly 4, and Harrison, he's only 2.5. So any parent out there knows that 2.5-year-olds can be extremely unpredictable. So who knows what we would have got on the day. And the little boy was there from 8 o'clock right through till 4. So he did an amazing job. But yeah, it was really cool to see.
And I believe the storyline in the advertisement is actually a true to life story. Like you did break a stick and make it smaller.
I refurbished one of my sticks for him. Yeah, because he was trying to use one of mine in the backyard, and it was just a disaster because it was nearly up to his head height. So we made an older one and changed it for him, and he loves it. Gets out there, and you have to watch his shins because he's a bit crazy. But yeah, he just loves it now, having his own stick that was mummy's.
So, I mean, can you see, obviously, with yours and Shane's genes, do you reckon he's going to be a player of some repute in years to come?
Oh, I think the chances are quite high. He's always around the hockey environment, comes with us to training and to games, and just loves watching us. He's got his Aussie, Aussie, Aussie chant down pat. The chances are high, but, we've got a whole bucket of sporting equipment out there, and he can pick and choose what he wants to do. But no doubt he's pretty sporty and he loves being outdoors, so he'll get into some sport, I'd say.
Now, you mentioned earlier that, after you had Harrison, you had a gym set up in the house so that you could get back and be fit enough to be selected for the Commonwealth Games. How hard was it after having a child to make that comeback and be strong enough, fit enough, and capable to make the team?
Yeah, it was incredibly hard, to be honest. Even harder than I thought it was going to. Probably was a little bit naive going into it. But yeah, I fell pregnant 2 months after competing in Olympic Games. So for me, I kind of was able to just keep running, keep doing gym right throughout, and struggled a little bit towards the end to give it up because I had a big belly. But yeah, coming back was really hard because a lot of times I was doing it in the shed after, 9 o'clock at night when I've been with Harry all day and he's finally gone to bed. And, so I'm in there, battling away by myself sometimes. So motivation to continue to do that. But I just had kind of my eyes on the prize, and that was a home com games, and that was so special to be able to get back for. But the road went like this, like I could see huge improvement, and then it would go like this. So it was definitely hard, very challenging mentally to try and get my body back to where where it was, and knowing that it probably wasn't going to be where it was at Com Games, given that that was only 8 months post having Harrison. So, yeah, but where I was at, I was really happy.
I mean, you look at that and you said there were dips. How did you pick yourself up in those lows where I'm sure there were moments of self-doubt going, can I get there?
Oh, I actually had a big Commonwealth Games banner on my garage door, so I just kept looking at it when I needed a bit of motivation. But it was, yeah, I think it was just acknowledging those dips and just finding a way to get out of it, and, you know, keeping perspectives with Harrison if I was ever, you know, feeling down or stuff like that. So, yeah, I'm not quite sure. Like I said before, I just had that goal set and I just wanted to achieve it, and I wanted Harry to be proud of me and come watch me play, and as with my husband and stuff. So, yeah, it was rocky and challenging, but it was all worth it in the end.
One of the things I've noticed, and obviously I've got quite a few years on you age-wise, is we are seeing more and more women now having a break from international sport, having a child, and then coming back. And to me, that's really good that the door is not just slammed shut the minute you decide to become a mother. What is your view on that? And have you noticed that there are more female athletes that are coming back after having a child?
Yeah, I definitely think there's more. I guess my view is that it's amazing seeing other women do it too, and knowing that it is possible to come back and play elite sport after a baby. Like, once you know, you don't have to give up your whole career to have a child and then you're just a mum. You can still keep that identity. Yes, I'm not saying it's easy. It's hard work and it's like a big juggling act, but it's really incredible to share that with your child. And yeah, I actually planned to go, you know, try for a baby before Rio Olympics. That was my goal, and if I fell quickly, then I was going to have a crack, and I'm very lucky that I did. But, you know, I was at kind of a crossroads where do I just retire and have a baby and settle there, and I said, why can't I do both? I'm going to try for a baby. Yeah, great. And then I'm going to try to come back and juggle the two. And it's been hard work, but it's actually been really incredible.
Well, you've had some success as well. I mean, obviously, in the FIH Hockey Pro League, the Hockeyroos won the silver last year, got so close. And then if we look at the Kellogg Sultana Bran Hockey One League, you won the championship there. And I mean, that must have been pretty special. And I mean, you've won other national championships, but how did that one rank?
Yeah, it's definitely on the radar. The Sultana Bran Hockey One was awesome. It was a great tournament. You know, it was a home and away type setup. So we travelled to different states, and I thought that was really good for hockey because more exposure and people got to see us live. But then to beat Melbourne Hockey Club in their home state was pretty awesome. You know, and the way we did it too. So it went down to a draw at you know, at full time, and then we were up against Rachel Lynch for shootout. So we all know Rachel Lynch is, you know, one of the best goalies in the world at them. So to come out victorious there was amazing. But yeah, that Sultana Bran Hockey One was really incredible, and it's definitely on my radar as one of my highlights.
Oh, well, that's good. Now, obviously, very different circumstances at the moment. We're not doing an interview face-to-face in person. We're having to do it digitally over the internet. I mean, you've got Harrison. You're trying to stay fit for your hockey. What do you do to relax these days while you're at home?
Relax? What does that mean? Oh, you know, I take every opportunity. I love, you know, just spending some time outside, walking the dogs. My parents live on a fruit farm, so a little bit hard to get out there at the moment, but whenever I can, I get out there just for some fresh air and to relax. But I'm a huge family person, so anytime I get to hang out with my fam, I'm really happy.
Well, Jodie, it's been great catching up with you. Congratulations on the TV commercial. Maybe there's an acting career down the track. Who knows?
That would be interesting to see. But yeah, it was such an incredible experience. I'm very grateful to Sultana Bran for making me an ambassador. That's for sure.
Well, we wish you all the best. Stay healthy and keep staying fit as well. And I'd just like to remind everyone to keep checking out the daily content being rolled out on the Hockey Australia and Hockey One social media platforms as part of the hashtag Hockey at Home. And from me, Ashley Morrison, stay safe and stay strong.